Let's study 9th Standard ICSE, English Literature, Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 9. Aragon's Choice. So Prince of Aragon, the second suitor who will participate in the Lottery of Caskets, has arrived at Belmont. The scene takes place in a room in Portia's mansion. So Portia orders for the curtains to be drawn so that Aragon can see the caskets and make his decision. Portia gives him information that if he chooses the right casket which has her portrait, then he would be allowed to marry her. She also makes it very clear to Aragon that there are 3 rules he has to follow. So Prince of Aragon simply enumerates them. Rule number 1 says that after losing the Lottery of Casket, he is not allowed to argue about it. He will have to just leave. Second, he cannot reveal the casket that he has chosen to anyone. And third, if he loses this Lottery of Casket, then he is not allowed to woo any other lady for marriage ever again. So that's a risk all these suitors should be willing to take. And that's the reason why in the scene, Act 1, Scene 2, those 6 suitors had refused to participate because they didn't want to take that risk. But Prince of Aragon is willing to participate here. He reads the inscriptions on all 3 caskets, just like Prince of Morocco had, and he starts analyzing the logic behind them. He also calls the lead casket as a base metal, which is a very common metal, and he cannot expect Portia's portrait to be in the lead casket. When he reads the gold casket's inscription stating that he who chooses this will get what many men desire, he's not impressed by this statement. He feels that he should not run behind the masses. What many men desire might not be the right path. He doesn't want to be a fool who blindly follows the herd. So he's showing some signs of wisdom, although it's actually superficial. He feels that the foolish majority always take a decision based on outward appearance, but outward appearances can be deceptive and dangerous. Just like the thrush, the swallow, it's a bird who makes its nest on the outer walls, even though it is exposed to danger. Similarly, if we make our decisions based on the outward appearance, it might be dangerous. Then he reads the inscription on the silver casket, which reads that he who chooses this will get what he deserves. Now, this fascinated him. He feels that who can ultimately fool fortune? We will finally always get what we deserve. This should be the principle of our life. If only in this world there was a fair treatment and everybody could get what they deserve, we would notice that many people born in nobility and born in the noble families, they would not get high posts just because of their birth, because they don't have the merit. They would automatically be demoted. And those people who are born in the lower class families, because of their talent, because they deserve it, they would have been given a higher post. So the people in a lower strata of society who have to keep their heads bare out of respect for the aristocrats, if they could be promoted because they deserve it, because they have the talent, then they would be allowed to wear the hats. And hitherto they were supposed to obey all the orders, but now they would be allowed to give the orders. And these people who were born in the nobility, just because of their birth, they've got high posts, but some of them don't have what it takes, so they won't deserve it and they would be demoted, and now they would have to listen to the orders. So it's only fair that people should be given what they deserve. It should not be based on in which family you are born. He gives an example from farming. When the grains are collected in a heap, from those grains sometimes we often find some stones or chaff which should be picked and removed. Similarly, undeserving people should be removed. On the other hand, from the heap of chaff, that is a covering of the grains, often we find whole, good grains which should be picked and used. So deserving people should be given a chance, even if they were from the lower strata of the society. So he philosophizes a lot about this and ultimately chooses the silver casket, stating that he deserves Portia, which shows his arrogance, Prince of Aragon. Portia encourages him to open the casket, stating that, what are you waiting for? You have a good fortune, open your casket. Perhaps she doesn't want him to win. So when he opens the casket, he sees a portrait of a fool with goggling eyes, that is a blinking idiot. He's surprised at this. He says this is so different from Portia's face. He receives a note in it which says that just like silver is tested 7 times in fire before it is termed pure, similarly a truthful statement should be thought about 7 times before stating it. Aragon seems to be a very wise person, but only superficially, only on surface. He doesn't think deeply about it. Just like some foolish people, just because they have silver hair, they feel that they are now experienced and wise. Similarly, Aragon seems to be only superficially wise, and so he is not a true lover of Portia. He is unhappy with this. He expresses his displeasure, but Portia reminds him that he had vowed not to argue about the decisions, that he cannot be the accused as well as the judge in the same case. So he accepts the decision and he leaves, stating that he came with 1 foolish head, but now he's leaving with 2 foolish heads, including the one in the portrait of the idiot. Portia is glad that he's gone, and she hopes that just like the insect moth is burnt by the candle's flame around which it moves, similarly such superficially wise people, pretentious, arrogant, vain, egoistic people should fail in this lottery of caskets. To which Nerissa adds that indeed your death as well as your marriage is always predetermined in your destiny. That's Nerissa's belief. Very soon a servant arrives with a message. He says that there is a Venetian who has arrived at the doorsteps of the mansion, and he is a messenger of some gentleman who has arrived to woo Portia. And this messenger, which is actually Graciano, has come with a lot of gifts on that gentleman's behalf. And that gentleman is Bassanio, by the way. The servant praises this situation a lot. He says that he has never seen a day in April so pleasant, suggesting that rich summer is at hand. Which means that the fact that the gentleman has sent so many gifts shows that some good things are in store in the future. Portia jokes that perhaps the servant is praising this person so much because he is the servant's relative. Anyway, Portia finds that it's a nice thing, a nice gesture on the gentleman's behalf to come in such a decent manner with so many gifts, and she's eager to meet him. And Nerissa hopes that this gentleman is Bassanio because she knows that Bassanio is truly worthy of marrying Portia.
Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you like this video, press the like button. If you would like to enroll for my online test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check the description for more information.